Hello, beautiful people. Carl here from Games, Brains, and Headbanging Life, gbhblofficial for short. And it's how easy are the achievements of Powerslave Exhumed, the remastering, the Night Dive Studios remastering of Exhumed or Powerslave, depending upon your territory and how it was released for you, taking the PlayStation and Sega Saturn versions, jamming it together, and coming up with one of the best first-person shooter games that you may never have played. I can't recommend this enough. It's one of the rare times where I say, forget all the achievements. It is just a great game to play. But hell, the achievements are great in this game too. And I'm going to give you a bit of a rundown of what you can expect. So think of it playing your first playthrough is where you're going to unlock the majority. You're going to unlock all the stuff relating to acquiring the items, things like the sandals of a Compet, Sobek's mask, and elements like that. Then you're going to potentially unlock some by accident. So I unlocked the kill an enemy without using any weapons. That's easy enough because some enemies will come towards you and then fall into like lava pits and things like that. Easy, the spiders in particular. You've got ones for defeating the bosses like Set and Selkis as well, including getting weapons too. And then we get to some of the more difficult ones. So across all the levels, there are 5 health anks. They're normally hidden in onks and hidden in really, really like clever places. So to find them, you're going to have to go back to earlier levels and so on. Final 5 of them, you unlock an achievement there. Then you get 2 different endings. So this is an interesting one. You've got a good ending and a bad ending. It's an achievement for both. The good ending is 100 Gamerscore. The bad end is 25. The reason being is because to get the good ending, you've got to collect 8 parts of this thing, a transmitter, and they're hidden well too. Thankfully, thanks to a beeping noise that like in a level when you get near to them it's easy to sort of find them, but sometimes accessing them is difficult. But get all 8 of them and then you'll get the good ending. Basically, don't get any of them or only get 7 of them, 7 out of 8, and you'll get the bad ending. Then we hit the difficulty ones. So this is going to take a couple of playthroughs, and I do advise you do a couple of playthroughs as well because none of the difficulty achievements stack, which is a flaw in the game. So you can play through the game on the easiest difficulty or play through it on the hardest difficulty, and you'll still end up having to play on the medium difficulty. It's that kind of thing. So I did my first playthrough on a basically middle difficulty, and then jumped straight to the hardest difficulty, Pharaoh. Now this is the hardest difficulty in the game, and warn you now it is very, very challenging. You are not going to want to start this game on Pharaoh difficulty. You will have a nightmare, and without knowing the level designs, the enemy types, and all of that, you will struggle. I struggled even on even knowing it and playing it as much as I did. So that's very difficult. I did Pharaoh first over hard difficulty because I thought, well, after playing Pharaoh, the hard difficulty, because you have to do both separately, I figured the hard difficulty would be easier, and it was. It still had its own challenges, but it was a lot more relaxed just after doing Pharaoh difficulty. Pharaoh difficulty is worth 100 Gamerscore. Hard difficulty is worth 50. They will take some time. Pharaoh difficulty probably took me the longest, I think, but even then, because I was a bit more skilled from playing it through previously, I knew a bit more. So by that point, think about it. By that point, I had done, God, what had I done? 4 playthroughs, I think. Yeah, because I'd done the main one, then I did another one where I got all the anks, then I did Pharaoh and hard, and then last but not least, I went. There's a couple of easier ones, but also there's to find the team dolls. Now, what I did was I used the save file that had all the anks in it, the highest amount of health, and on an easier difficulty to then go back to each level and find the 31 team doors. These are hidden in crazy places and require grenade jumps, challenging grenade jumps to reach for the most part. You're going to be tested finding all these team doors. It's probably, I think, up there alongside Pharaoh as the hardest difficulty because some of these team doors are really challenging for having to get through complicated laser grids and things like that. And you need all the upgrades and you need to have a shit ton of health because of the grenade jumps. All of that can make it really, really difficult. That was hard. The last achievements I got for the game was to kill the lava mantis with just a machete. That is just awkward, a little bit annoying. And then I think just for fun, I ended up playing it through one last time with the complete the game on any difficulty without collecting any unks. So obviously I put it on an easy difficulty, even though it's challenging because without any unks, it means you've just got 1 bar of health. So you need to be really, really skilled. At that point, I could breeze through the game though. You know, you're talking about 4 or 5 playthroughs, which you might have to do because of the difficulty stacking as well. But you could probably combine the two. I reckon you could complete if you're really good, you could probably do like the first playthrough without collecting the ankhs, but then you're going to end up having to go back and collect the 5 anyway. But you could probably do that. You're probably going to want to do that on fairer difficulty anyway. So there's all these different ways you could combine it, but you're looking at around 20 hours. I think in the end I did about 25, but you're looking at anywhere between up to 20 hours, I think, to get all the achievements in this game, depending upon your skill level. So it's not the easiest one, but goodness, is it fun. It is fun. I cannot recommend it enough. Difficulty rating for this one, I'm going to give this one, just because of Pharaoh difficulty and the team dolls, those damn team dolls. There was a couple, I can't stress enough, there are a couple laser grid ones at the end that I probably spent longer. I think there's one in particular that I spent a good hour at, just trying to get through this small little laser grid because of how complex and how just touching it slightly is instant death. Yes, a bit of a nightmare there. I'm going to give this one 8 out of 10. This is a toughie, but a very satisfying one nonetheless. It's Powerslave Exhumed. You got any thoughts you want to share? You know what to do. Let me know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed what you've seen, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. It does help us out. You can find us at gbhbl.com and across all social media platforms. And if you really want to give us a bit of extra support, please consider buying us a cup of coffee over on our coffee page. Thank you.